this edition of Fifth Gear, a beginner's guide to rallying, a classic BMW, the 635, and how to get off a dodgy parking ticket.
If you haven't fallen for one of the 31 lifestyle SUVs currently on sale in Britain, then don't worry about it, because Volvo have just made it 32 with this, the XC90. And yes, those are mountains, and no, we're not going up them. Normally, off-roaders do all the talking for you, in a posh, rich, hard-as-nails type of way. People buy them because they want road presence, a higher driving position, and a move out of my way, you little guy lifestyle. Vulgar, selfish traits expressed in vulgar, selfish vehicles. But Volvo makes safe, friendly, environmentally responsible Swedish cars. Is there suddenly an off-roader which isn't for large back-sided show-offs? Is the XC90 really a Volvo, or is it a fat, in-your-face 4x4? Well, there isn't a planet-bashing V8 on the price list. And even though the 6-cylinder petrol isn't particularly economical, there's also a rather frugal 2.5-litre diesel that averages over 30 miles to the gallon. And being Swedish, they've also found a way to make the world a safer place. Currently, large off-roaders wreak havoc when they're in a collision with smaller cars or pedestrians. So Volvo have made the front of the XC90 more absorbent. So if you do hit somebody, or one of those tiny cars, things shouldn't be as catastrophic. Obviously, it'd be better if you didn't hit them, I understand that, but you see what I'm getting at. So that's nice. Oh, and the radiator has a special coating that turns harmful ozone into fresh air. Don't ask me how it does it, but it does. The XC90 also manages to be a real family friend too. It's only 9 centimetres longer than a regular Volvo V70 estate. But get this, you get a large, lovely, flat load space. But the best bit is, it's also a 7-seater. No other off-roader can compete with this. Can you imagine 5 kids? And Volvo realised that if you're silly enough to have 5 kids, you need an easy-to-use dashboard. So it's all laid out with big, clear, idiot-proof sophistication. Now, the way I see it, 4x4 drivers are failed astronauts. They like to flip switches, check data, make adjustments. And Volvo lets you play spaceman. Plus, it's got the mother and father of all stereos. It comes with 13 speakers, an 8-inch 140-watt subwoofer and a 305-watt power amp. Plus, it's the first production car ever to be fitted with Dolby Pro Logic 2 surround sound. Me and the XC90 were getting on very nicely. Now we're in danger of becoming lovers. Prices start at a competitive £30,000. OK, the handling's not as good as a BMW X5, and it's not that great off-road. But what the hell? In the XC90, you don't drive up mountains, you drive to them, and then set them to music. So that's it then. Off-roaders used to be fat, in-your-face vehicles designed to make you feel better than everyone else. And Volvo have changed all that. It's a subtle spin on the 4x4, an off-roader with Volvo values. And it's got that sound system, which does make you better than everyone else on the road.
Did you hear the one about the district nurse from Whitstable? She got a parking ticket when she stopped in the high street, which is no big deal, until you realise that she'd only stopped to tend the scene of an accident, and the warden who was issuing the ticket was actually watching her. It makes you mad. And now that more and more authorities up and down the country have put parking enforcement in the hands of private companies, people are getting madder. Rumours of bonuses and quotas are always refuted, but there's a real suspicion that the new breed of privatised traffic warden will stop at nothing to give you a ticket. Take the pharmacy, whose van would regularly get a ticket whilst it was parked up outside a local hospice delivering medical supplies. Sense did win through, eventually, and after a lot of unnecessary toing and froing. In Lambeth, you didn't even have to be naughty to get a ticket. The reason? Wardens would simply pluck registration numbers from legally parked cars and then issue them a ticket in the post. The outcome? Enough people complained and 3 of them got the sack. So you might think we'd be better off left to our own devices and that we should get rid of traffic wardens altogether. Well, sorry, no one's ever going to allow that.
It's very important that parking is controlled to stop accidents, to reduce congestion and to manage the use of the curb space where there's more demand than there is space available. There are about 4.25 to 4.5 million tickets a year issued in the country, of which 4 million are in London, and no one's going to guarantee that every single one of those is 100% perfect.
But don't think you have to let them get away with those mistakes. Thousands and thousands of people got off their parking fines last year. How? By complaining.
I make it a point of never parking illegally or never knowingly park illegally, but I've had 8 tickets and I've managed to get off every single one of them.
We run a delivery company in London and we've just successfully got off our 100th parking ticket.
One time when I was parking somewhere on a Saturday afternoon, which would always been legal on the single yellow line, they changed the regulations without any sign saying they changed the regulations, and it was now illegal to park there on a Saturday afternoon. A lot of hassle, a lot of time. Eventually I won that one.
We're allowed, under the laws of traffic regulations in London, up to 20 minutes to unload and load. Everybody knows that, all the wardens know that, and yet we turn up and we are not given the benefit of the 20-minute period.
Other times when they moved my car from one parking residence bay to another one, I have no idea why they did this. They fined me for it. I still don't know why they do it. They could never tell me.
This week, by coincidence, we've had 3, 2 in the same delivery run, one of which was for loading in a loading bay, and as we're a loading company, that struck us as perhaps the ultimate cheek.
I parked in a parking bay with one of those stickers you have to stick on the inside parking permit, and it was a bright, hot, sunny day. The glue melted and it fell down onto the dashboard. It was clearly visible through the windscreen that I had it, but they ticketed me saying it wasn't stuck to the windscreen, it had to be stuck to the windscreen. I ask you, it's insane.
Privatisation may have given us some bonkers parking stories, but it has also brought a much more straightforward way to appeal against fines. The key point is not to get fobbed off at the first hurdle. Rumour has it that some local authorities will file your first letter under B for bin. But pester away, write again and demand your case is heard. There's no need for expensive solicitors and courts anymore. Newfangled parking adjudicators do the judgment. It's easy and it's free.
It's actually very easy to appeal and you're told how to do it on the ticket, but people are worried about the fact that tickets double if you wait too long. But actually, if you do appeal and lose, you don't have to pay double the price.
The most important thing for people to remember is if they don't like a parking ticket, don't get angry, don't shout at the warden, do use the appeal process.
It is not in the slightest bit daunting. It's a guy sitting on the other side of a desk, you wander in and he will just make a decision within about 5 or 10 minutes.
So there you have it. If you've got a ticket and you feel hard done by, you have our full permission to go forth and whinge. Chances are justice will be done.
If you love modified cars, then one of the best places to be this summer was Silverstone's Trax 2002. The cars were hot, the women were hotter, and nothing looked like it did when it left the showroom. And it was all a case of the more extreme the better for thousands of car-mad enthusiasts. If you thought modified cars were underground, you'd be wrong. They're very, very overground. And if it's too loud, you're too old. One of the heroes of this world is Britain's top modified car artiste, 27-year-old Jamie Shaw. Now, his company, Charisma, specialises in giving cars the ultimate makeover. And to show just what he can do, he's come up with some extreme show cars of his own. Trouble is, in the modifying world, things move very quickly. And to keep ahead of the game, Jamie's built this, his current pièce de résistance. It is, believe it or not, a TVR Cerbera. Oh, all right then, Cerbera. He's spent 80 grand on this thing, giving it nitrous, 550 brake and 200 mile/hour plus. It's also got a full complement of extra body bits, including a Ferrari F50 style bonnet. But why a TVR?
I just wanted to say, look, hold on a second. There is something that is available here that, from a performance point of view, will probably pretty much out-accelerate anything on the road. I mean, it's one of the fastest production cars ever produced. It does 0 to 60 3.9 and 190 with no modifications. And it's affordable to your guy that's got a Skyline GTR, an Evo, an Impreza. You can pick these up nowadays for about 20,000. and it could look like this.
What have you got in it?
Well, we've got 16 digital gauges that are all made in America specifically for this car.
16?
16 speakers, 4,000 watts of amplification, 5 TV screens, DVD, voice recognition, satellite navigation, Xbox. There's probably only one interior trim panel that was left standard, and all the rest are completely fabricated from scratch. There's 4 cameras with 4 different camera viewing angles that you can record while you're driving along as well.
OK, so you make mad cars, but
Yeah.
where do you come from? What did you used to do? Have you always been a modder or what?
No, I used to work as part of a body shop team for Rolls-Royce.
Rolls-Royce?
Yeah, Rolls-Royce. And I used to have to do an after PDI inspection, and I could normally still find about 2 A4 pages of faults. I mean, with a Rolls-Royce, surprising how bad they can come out the factory. Sorry, Rolls-Royce, for saying that. But yeah, then we used to have to correct that and put that right.
So what cars did you start with?
Renault 5 GT Turbo, which is classic pocket rocket. We all love a Renault 5 Turbo.
And this one could be the best in the world.
I think with this particular car, the Renault 5, people can relate to it more because you can go and pick up a base car for sort of £1,000, £1,500 and then work your way each month, you know what I mean, spending a few bits and pieces to eventually getting it to look something like this one. This is probably one of the wackiest interiors we've done, and especially in a Renault 5. Same again as the TVR, 16 speakers. We've only got 3,000 watts of amplification in this one, 4 TV screens, multi-DVD, Dreamcast, VCR and a rear view camera. Theoretical top speed, the gearing with the 19-inch wheels is around about 165, but aerodynamics of a Renault 5 above about 145, 150 gets a little bit worrying.
There were lots of Jamie's customers among the Silverstone crowds, and I couldn't help wondering who owned this rather bright-looking Vauxhall.
Donna, what the hell have you done? It's so purple. Why is it that colour?
It's because it's my favourite colour, so I thought I'd put it on my car as well. I spent about £20,000 on it, including buying the car in the first place. So it's an L-Ridge Corsa GSI. It was completely standard to start with. I have another Corsa that I use to drive to work and back. This is only for shows now.
It's your cruise car?
Yeah.
Whatever you think of them, there's no doubt that Jamie makes cars that get you noticed. I wonder what he'll modify next. I'm hoping for a juiced roller or maybe a slam Ferrari.
What you're about to see is one of the most beautiful BMWs ever. That famous shark snout has become an emblem for everything we know and love about BMs. The BMW 6 Series is not quite yet a card-carrying classic, and that's why you can go out today and buy a car as nice as that, with a full history, for around £3,000 to £3,500. I'm now going to spend the next few minutes convincing you to do exactly that. You see, for the money, this has to be the classiest coupe for miles. Just look at this. An interior as stylish as a Manhattan penthouse. Leather, electric Recaro seats, switchable automatic gearbox, trip computer, and hey, 2 figure-hugging back seats. This is a proper 4-seater coupe. It's also a serious driver's car. Their sonorous straight-six 3.5-litre engines will take you to the naughty side of 140, with the rare M635 nudging 160. Plus, they're relatively simple to look after with straightforward 70s technology. This is that rare thing, a classic car you could use every day. But a word of warning, don't be tempted by those cheap ones on offer by your local friendly drug dealer. £1,000, £1,500. No, they are a nightmare best left undocumented. Spend £3,000 to £5,000 on a nice car with a history, and I promise, you won't be sorry. And don't take my word for it. Here's a dedicated owner who thinks the 6 Series is better than Marilyn Monroe bath mats.
This is the third one I've had, and I've never had a problem. Engine, gearbox, back axle, anything serious at all. It just drives so beautifully. You're part of the car when you drive it. You've only got to go in a garage and someone will come up and say, I love the car, or even get people at traffic lights and put the thumbs up and things like that, which is quite a nice feeling. You could spend thousands. I can go and buy a new Mercedes or a Lexus or something and spend 50, 60, 70,000 pounds, and it wouldn't be as nice a car as that one.
You've really got 6 Series bad?
Yes, yes, I think they're a supercar.
Mind you, these Bavarian Banshees do rust, so watch the seals around the bottom corners of the windscreen, the bottoms of the doors and the wheel arches. And make sure it comes with those sumptuous leather electric seats, automatic transmission and the desirable cross-spoke alloys. Oh, and you will be absolutely amazed just how modern and together they still feel to drive.
Convinced yet? Well, you should be. The 6 Series is achingly beautiful, endlessly reliable, and still feels special. It will, mark my words, one day be a copper-bottom classic. Now, I'm not saying you'll make any money out of buying one. They're not going to be an investment. But if you get one at current rummage sale prices, and it's a good one, you're not going to lose. Why? Well, quite simply, this is a cool car that's getting cooler by the day.
I've raced karts, cars, powerboats, but one thing I've never done is driven a rally car. So when someone suggested I try these Speyside stages, a round of the Scottish Rally Championship that attracts an astonishing variety of cars, I said yes please, very quickly. Now, unlike circuit racing, the one biggest difference here is that you need a co-driver, someone who you can trust and totally rely on. Unfortunately, I've got Tiff.
Charming. Mind you, Vicki had a point. I may have driven in a few rallies, but I've never had to tackle all the paraphernalia that goes with co-driving. And to add a bit of pressure, we were in a works-prepared Peugeot 206. No, not a 300 horsepower world rally car like Richard Burns's, but a 150 horsepower front-wheel drive supercup car from their Junior One-Make Championship.
The Scottish weather wasn't helping my nerves, but neither was it dampening my enthusiasm. Like all competitors, we were allowed to walk the next morning's short opening stage in the centre of Elgin, which gave us a chance to try and make sense of our pace notes.
But this is the note, right? Every team had been issued with a standard set of notes which guide you through the stages with a baffling array of numbers and symbols. What I had to do was make sure my leading lady understood them. I've got to say to you, left 5, keep right, over crest, jump, into left 3. And all that happens in those next 10 yards.
Oh my God.
So you can see the bridge ahead. So I've got to read all this as one.
Yeah.
And you step all in. Left 5, keep right, over crest, jump, left 3, opens and tightens, left 8, which is over
Gee whiz,
there.
man. That is oof.
So
Okay.
if I get it wrong, you've got to remember sometimes that...
And,
yeah.
if I get it wrong, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. This is the first bit. Left 5.
Next day, the conditions were perfect. So much for my plan to blame any mishaps on the weather. By now, I was only moments away from the start of my first ever rally stage. And in a right old tizzy... That flag, that is the start there. That is it, is it? Oh, my goodness. So he's gone.
Now go up
So he
where
gets
you want.
off.
Sure.
Oh, Tiffy, Tiffy, Tiffy. Oh, my God, what am I doing? That's next, isn't it?
Well, I think so, yeah.
Should I move forwards?
Yeah, come in. He says come in.
Should I get in that divot or not on the road? Oh.
Yeah, 10, 15.
Actually,
20 seconds, Vix.
can I go slightly more forward?
No, stay where you are. Remember to enjoy it.
Okay. Count me down, Tiff.
He'll do it as well.
Or you count my ear.
5,
Oh, my
4,
God.
3, 2, 1, go! Right, 7, don't cut. 60. Acute hairpin left. I go down to first, brake, down to first gear. Just turn it around, lovely. C50. Right 6 narrows. Right 6 narrows and turn left 9. This is this number. Tighten it looks, brake, turn left 9. And left 3 opens the left 1. 1, then 100 to this silly chicane, right-hand entry, brake, down to first gear. Horrible little thing, look. We don't know what it's going to be like.
Oh, what is that? Really? All this brake. What did you think I was going to do? Charge flat out into a tree? Tuh, ye of little faith.
Right over crest, jump, left 3, opens, and then tightens into this little left 8, brake tightens down to second gear, left 8. Keep on going, there's the finish line, brake, stop, slow down, we finished. All that nervous tension, this rallying, you have breakfast, you wait around for 3 hours, and it's all... Stage 2 was a rerun of Stage 1, and even though we weren't flying around like some, we did manage to take 3 seconds off our time. But whilst Vicki got to relax after every stage, my work never seemed to stop. It's secretarial work, you know, it's very trying. She just sits there, turns the steering wheel, I have to do all the worrying for her.
Is it stressful, is it? Prefer the driving?
Just don't make it. Carry on, you can drive again now.
Okay. Have fun.
Any thoughts on how well we were doing were quickly dispelled by Stage 3, my inaugural forest stage. When you see rallying on the telly, the cone driver calmly calls out directions and the cool professional at the wheel listens in silence and concentrates on the driving. Well, I think it's fair to say that we were absolutely nothing like that.
50, right 7 long, over crest, right 7 long. Let's get in second gear, keep on it, it's long, second. Yeah. Crest 50.
Then what?
Left 1 over crest.
Whoa. Speed.
Left 6 and right 8.
Oh, right, it's a big one. Left 6.
Where are we going? No, this is we're miles. It's hairpin.
Oh,
we're already miles off these things.
Left hairpin.
Yeah. And that first forest stage was a complete shambles. We'd both been shown up as novices, and as the end came in sight, I think we were both relieved just to have made it round in one piece. Back off, we're done.
Oh my God!
3 stages down and 7 still to go. I wasn't sure our relationship could take it.
I just drive while Tiff has nightmares. He's lost his watch, lost pace notes. We're having some stressful minutes in the car at the moment.
Stage 4 felt as if we were slowly getting our act together. Well, apart from the odd laps.
What the is this corner here?
And by the time we'd done Stage 5, I was feeling pretty confident, much to the relief of Mick Linford, Peugeot's team manager. Lots of big moments. The thing was, it was quite marbling, loads of rocks, and then they just dropped off, the road just dropped off either side, and we did sort of have a few... So I kept my foot in and tried to pull it out.
Well, this is definitely the first and last time I'm co-driving. The stress of the job, the concentration all the time. You've got to look at the time card, the road book to get to the stages before you even get to these pace notes. And all the time you're reading, terrified you're going to call a wrong note that'll send Vicki the wrong way into a ditch. Every stage, though, seemed to get better and better. Vicki was going quicker, and I had swapped the brake for go. Keep in it.
Come on!
Well done, 70, left 5, don't cut.
By the final stage, it really felt as if we'd clicked. I'd stopped talking and was totally focused, and Tiff was calling the shots right on the button.
Right over this crest, and right 4.
Fantastic, though I must remember to keep my tongue in my mouth. Top team.
Go and left 150, left 4 long to stop. Hey, girl, you're on that. That was going on it there. I had the notes just about right.
I loved it. We finished 38th overall and 4th in class, and I can't wait to have another go. But I think there'll be a vacancy for a co-driver.
Dead right, Vix. But then with you, the job does have its perks. Pace note says a kiss at the finish. Well done. Wow.